was around noon when I had a king salmon poke salad that Mom and I got from Wegmans the other day. And around 8:15 p.m., when I had some chicken, barbecue roast chicken that is, that Mom started cooking. And it was sometime around 7 or so. 7 p.m. or so. It cooked in our oven for 40 minutes. It turned out so well that even after finishing what I depicted on the picture, I had another drumstick afterwards. I also enjoy eating cheese sticks and drinking glasses of whole milk with a majority of my meals. I recall that in the time between the meal that would be considered lunch due to the time, but was really more of a sort of breakfast, and that 8:15 meal, I drew the front of Josh Allen's leggings. Which didn't involve that much drawing, because the front of his leggings are mostly white, with me using a medium hue gray Sharpie marker to represent outlines of things such as the knee pad sticking over his default blue socks, and presumably some pads that are around the thigh. Only it seems kind of odd to have pads around your thighs. Yeah, but that's how they were drawn and how they appeared in the pictures I looked at the time I drew the first Josh Allen drawing. Earlier this year, I recall. It was back in the 25th of March that I drew first Josh Allen drawing. I recall that I woke up sometime early in the morning. Could be as early as I woke up around 4 in the morning, and then I don't think I fell back asleep again until about noon or so. Or sometime in the afternoon. And then I woke up in the evening, maybe sometime between 5 and 6 p.m., only didn't really feel like evening because these days the sun will still be up during the evening hours. The sun doesn't really set until about, not at least not fully until about 8:30 p.m. I recall having a cup of coffee sometime between 10 and 11 in the morning, and then I think at some point after that I started drawing the leggings of Josh Allen because I decided to do that first before I did the sides, which would to a large extent involve his arms, which are pretty complex for arms due to the fact that he's an American football player. The last thing I did today in terms of working on Josh Allen was to start drawing in the text for his winter knit hat, which pretty much on the front says Buffalo Bills on the front for the most part. It's pretty much going to be entirely Buffalo Bills. Maybe most of that text I'll manage to get on the front. I may ultimately end up making some alterations possibly to that winter knit hat. At one point late today, I decided to start taking some requests. I have no way of knowing which of these requests give me the most for the least of these chips, since this is a pretty complex minigame, but due to some lucky draws, one of the mechanics, and something you get for completing certain requests, something you have a chance of getting for completing certain requests. A lucky draw, once you get it, has a 1 in 4 chance to give you somewhere between 50 and 100 50 and 100 extra dwarven chips. And the rest of the time, you're guaranteed to get a high-level game piece. I found out around noon or so while I was having the king salmon poke salad that apparently carrots is a starchy vegetable and you're not really supposed to have it on a keto diet. Not really sure why. It doesn't seem to me like vegetables would have carbs in them. And the poke salad I had just had some shredded carrots in it. The same source that mentioned the carrots being a starchy vegetable you're not supposed to have on a keto diet also mentioned, in this case the source was from the Chomps website, which is the brand name for a chain of beef jerky sticks. Also mentioned that you can pretty much have whatever you want as long as you keep your net carbs down a certain amount, which I think I'm ultimately doing, considering that each day's meals are filled with things like meat, cheese, and milk. Things I occasionally think about include what time I should get up each day in order to have a good sleep schedule so that I have the energy needed to keep creating good polystream artwork. Yeah, which is what I like to do each day these days. I also occasionally think about how fortunate I am to be in the position where I am now. Even though I haven't really gotten any real work experience of my own, and despite having a college degree, pretty much right after I had at least had the cup of coffee, I weighed myself in the morning. Somewhere between 11 and noon. And the scale said I was 271 pounds. Which is about a 2 less since the last time I weighed myself, which was maybe a week or two ago. According to my best recollection. I recall that the first things that I drew on as part of Josh Allen's leggings was on the left side. I'm kind of tempted to call it a fanny pack, but I don't think it's a fanny pack. It's got a red trim and it's blue with the Buffalo Bills logo on the front. Fanny pack would be my best way of describing it, though it's probably something else. And then on the right side, I drew a blue Nike logo, which is something that's relatively simple to draw, but getting it exact can be difficult at times. And the Buffalo Bills logo that I drew on the front of that fanny pack, my best way of describing it again, on the left side of the leggings, it was backwards, so I had to do some extra looking when I searched Buffalo Bills logo on Bing Images in order to find the logo backwards from how it's usually presented.